Boxing on Channel 5. Defending his name, his legacy. Harlem Eubank, battling his way up the super lightweight rankings. Can he remain undefeated? Big Fight Live, Eubank versus Uruzquieta, Friday at 10 on Channel 5.
This is Umar for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Joshua Franklin live on the zone this Saturday. Is this a routine job for Anthony Joshua or not, Spencer?
If this fight goes over 5 rounds, Umar, you should eat your watch. Seriously.
Why are you saying that?
Because Anthony Joshua, and it's all about rejuvenation. Anthony Joshua has taken himself out of the comfort zone of being in London, taken the comfort zone of being in Sheffield, taken himself out of that comfort zone. And he's linked up with Derek D. James. And the D in Derek James is not only dangerous, but it's dynamite as well. You know what I mean? And Derek is he's that guy. I've known Derek for a hot minute. And Derek's that guy that I believe that can motivate Anthony Joshua, for Anthony Joshua to be more grounded to not only just the fundamentals, but grounded to the authenticity of who he really is. And I think Derek James is the person that was going to bring that out of him. That's what I believe.
If that is the case, and that would be a big win for Anthony Joshua this Saturday, what do you think is next for him? He's named 3 people on Monday: Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Joe Joyce. Is that realistic? Do you think we actually see any of them in the summer in with Anthony Joshua?
Of course there is, because of the money that Anthony Joshua generates, number one, right? And any, bar the Joe Joyce fight, yeah? Joe Joyce is actually next generation, right? I'm just going to be real with you. Yeah, he's next generation, right? Because Joe Joyce, I believe, if Joe Joyce is in correct fights, he'll have more longevity than Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua, right? Because he's like, even though he's old in age, but he's young in comparison to Tyson Fury, to Deontay Wilder, to Anthony Joshua, for the time that those gentlemen are being professional fighters.
He'd jump at one of those opportunities, yeah, Joyce, wouldn't he?
No, I'm not knocking that fight. I'd like to see that fight, but he's still next generation, right? What I'm saying is this. Massive blockbuster that would be for Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Massive blockbuster for Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, right? Those 2 fights, they're massive. Joe Joyce is still a big fight, but Joe Joyce hasn't captured the imagination of the people yet, right? For all of his pluses, he hasn't jumped over there. But I think Joe Joyce is very, very bloody good. And as Babatunde Ajayi calls him, Jollof Joe. So that's him. He's dangerous.
Okay. Just away from the heavyweight division, seen Robert Smith come out yesterday and say that it's disrespectful to the sport that that Eddie's looking to stage Chris Eubank Jr. v Conor Benn in Abu Dhabi, and they probably wouldn't give permission for Eubanks to box there because obviously he still holds a British licence due to the 2 positive tests that Conor Benn has. Can I get your reaction to Robert's comments? What do you think?
I mean, Robert Smith is correct in what he is saying, right? But you have to understand that this is a sport. Conor Benn no longer has a British border control licence, so he's not under British border control jurisdiction. So he can do as he pleases.
Eubank does, though.
Yeah, Eubank does, but I believe that Eubank would put his licence down to one side and take a Saudi Arabian boxing licence for this fight to happen, because he knows it's called prize fighting. But I agree to certain aspects of what Robert Smith's saying. But this is prize fighting, and rules are there to be broken. Or if you're not even under the rules, or you're not under that regulation or under that jurisdiction, you can do as you please. So unfortunately, that's what it is. I would like to see Conor Benn prove his innocence, right, on the allegations that's been put on him first, right? But I don't want to get into that and say he's guilty or he's not guilty, because this is how it is. This is very, very difficult. I'm saying this. Me personally, I would like to see him prove he's innocent first.
Do you mean with the British Boxing Board of Control?
With the British Board of Control, but if you see certain things that have gone on, then you can see why Conor Benn would feel aggrieved, and he feels like he's the one that the finger's being pointed at. And it's a long story. It's long. So I don't want to get into it. It's long. It's just too long.
Last one then. We've seen Frank Warren make some comments that Anthony Yard will be in a big fight this summer. They are looking at potentially Joe Smith Jr. I think a lot of the fans would have liked to see Yard and Buatsi actually take place, but he has signed with Boxer and Sky. I'm not saying that prevents the fight, but Frank did present him, Buatsi this is, with a deal which included a fight with Yard, and Eddie obviously presented Buatsi a deal with Matchroom that included a $1 million fight, we believe, with Dimitri Bivol for a world title. So are you surprised that Buatsi's gone not to either Matchroom or Frank Warren, but it's actually signed with Sky and Boxer? Because the only option there is Dan Aziz, really?
No, because I said this before and I'm going to say it again. Boxer need Joshua Buatsi more than Joshua Buatsi needs Boxer, but Buatsi needs Sky more than Sky need Buatsi. It's one of those ones. But if you marinate all three of them together, then you've got a triangle, and that triangle is going to be strong. So I think I can understand the reason why he's gone the way that he's gone, or gone the route that he's gone. A boxer only has one career. So Joshua Buatsi has to do the best for his career. So he believes this is the best move for him. Not thinking about on the fans, he said this is the best move for me to prepare myself in order for me to go and fight for a world title. But the same guys who won the same Olympic squad as him in 2016 in Rio, 2 of them have become world champion, right? So he must be sitting there thinking, well, you know what? I've got to do this as well. So it's not me pointing fingers and say the blame game, it's this one's fault or that one's fault. I'd like to see Joshua Buatsi in the biggest fights, right?
Bivol and Yard, really, isn't it?
Right, exactly. But the thing about it is this, Anti-Yard, you don't hear Anti-Yard calling nobody's name. Anti-Yard's focus is on becoming a world champion, right? And props to them. And you know what, I'm always, Baba Tunde Jai, my brother, from another. So, you know how it goes. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. Loyalty gives you royalty. So, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. I would like to have seen Buatsi getting with Anti-Yard, right? But let's be realistic about it. Why should they chop a little piece of money when there's no title, world title involved, when they should be fighting each other, and they're going to chop a big money when there's a world title involved? And nobody can't tell me, after Anti-Yard's last performance, that he's not capable of winning a world title. He is. He put his heart and soul on the line against arguably one of the hardest punches in the world today at any weight, right? And he did that, right? And we know, like, there's going to be certain things that he's got to brush up on, and then we're going to look forward for him to go brush up on those things, and we see where he goes from there. But yeah, you know what I mean? I would like to see the biggest fights happen between the Brits. But if these guys are all, there should be some big money put down, and there should be some big titles as well. That's what I'm going to leave it.
Well, thank you for your time, and hopefully Anthony Joshua does it early this Saturday. Otherwise, I will be eating my watch.
Eat your watch. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock out this Franklin guy within 5 rounds, Umar will eat his watch. I believe so. I believe he's going to go eat. I'm going to be down at the fight anyway. And make sure that you pop over. I've got a bite to eat for you down at Shukra in the O2. It's a very, very incredible Mediterranean restaurant. And you got to come down. I've got free steaks for my brother from another mother, Umar, yeah?
Shukra at the O2.
Shukra at the O2.
There we go. See you there, everyone.
Refuse to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,